My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was a cartoon that was created to introduce to the world the fourth generation of My Little Pony, but most importantly, sell toys. Now, for the most part, these toys manage to look pretty accurate to how the characters look like in the show, but there are some oddities in there, like that one time Hasbro accidentally gave the character Flower Wishes wings when she's supposed to be an Earth Pony, or the character Suri Polymel was renamed to Button Bell. But easily the most oddity when it comes to MOP G4 merchandise easily goes to Princess Celestia. Does something seems pretty off about her? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. Princess Celestia is a white alicorn. Yet, for some reason, the toys in the earlier years depicted her with pink skin. Look, it makes sound like this would be a silly topic for a 21-year-old woman to cover, but the more you look at it, the more you realize that yes, this is very interesting. I mean, just look at various Celestia merchandise released in the earlier years of G4, such as the 2-pack when Princess Luna that I had as a kid, or the talking figure. The latter one being pretty noticeable because on the butt side, they clearly show this weird artwork of Celestia with short hair, but most importantly, she has the correct white skin. But why was Celestia depicted as pink for her earlier toys? Well, the answer should be pretty obvious. Yes, pink is the color stereotypically associated with girls, and My Little Pony, being a toy line aimed at girls, of course is going to feature a lot of pink. I mean, one of its characters is literally called Pinkie Pie. Also, pink is quite a prominent color featured in a lot of princess characters. Think for example Arona from Disney's Sleeping Beauty or Peach from the Super Mario franchise. So it would make sense to make the Alicorn princess character pink for her merchandise, right? Alright, you can argue that Celestia technically has a little bit of pink shading on her design, especially when you compare it to the white unicorn rarity, but at the end of the day, Celestia is a white alicorn, not pink. Let's take a look at the Friendship It's Magic box set, which is often seen to be the first G4 toy as it was first shown in Toy Fair 2010. As you can see on this prototype image, it uses the G3.5 logo for the book as opposed to the G4 logo since it wasn't finalized yet. The prototypes for the other characters don't look that different from the final product, but Celestia is a completely different story. She's wearing a necklace, her shoes are painted, and most importantly, she has white skin. Oh, and her eyes are also weirdly big. Yet for some reason, for the final product, Hasbro decided to downgrade her by removing her necklace, gave her no shoe painting, and most importantly, gave her pink skin. But anyways, this was the Celestia that everyone saw for her toys. But now let's move on to the year 2012 with the Season 2 finale, A Cantala Wedding, and the toy line Pony Wedding, where we saw the introduction of a brand new character, Princess Cadance. As you can see, Cadance is a pink alicorn. Granted, it's not necessarily the accurate light shade of pink as seen in the cartoon, but you still get my point. So, when a brand new pink alicorn character, that means Celestia can finally be the correct white color, right? Well, not really, for the most part. Yes, Despite the introduction of a new pink alicorn, Hasbro chose to make Celestia's fashion style toy for the pony wedding line pink. Oh, and to add insult to injury, the prototype depicted her with white skin and also glittery wings. So I have no idea as to why Hasbro once again decided to downgrade her for the final product. But here's something weird. The wave 5 of the blind bag figures, where Celestia was included in the set, but you may notice something interesting about her. That's right, the minifigure has the correct white color. I had absolutely no idea why they chose a minifigure to be one of the first Celestia toys to have her much more accurate white color. But yeah, I certainly had no idea as to why they gave her white skin for the minifigure, but decided to keep the pink skin for the fashion style toy. Anyways, let's move on to in the Season 3 premiere, The Crystal Empire, and the toy line of the same name. Celestia was released in a 2-pack with Pinkie Pie, and surprise surprise, they finally released a normal-sized brushable figure of Celestia with the correct white skin. She was also released in a 3-pack Target exclusive set with Luna and Cadance, and wait a minute, she's pink again! What the heck is this? She was released in both the pink and white colors. What? We basically had a chicken and the egg situation. Was the 3-pack produced first and therefore they later made Celestia white for her 2-pack when Pinkie? Or they made the Pinkie 2-pack first, gave Celestia the white color, but they later made her pink for the Princess's 3-pack in order to appeal with girls a lot better? We may never get an answer to this question. But what we do know is that some of Celestia's older merchandise were getting remade to now depict her with a much more accurate white. And this includes the giant talking figure, to the point where the fabric of the wings even changed from being this out-of-place blue to this much more fitting light pink. Or in the case of the Pony Mania toy, no fabric, just translucent, glittery purple wings. And from this point and onward, Pink Celestia was officially retired, and Celestia now look a lot more accurate to what she does in the show. And yes, this even extends for when the G4 toys were redesigned to have a much more cartoony appearance. So that means we had no more inconsistencies with Celestia's toys, right? Well, not really, because guess what? We still have Equestria Girls. Drawing animal characters is a pretty popular thing fans would do, and much to everyone's surprise, this became an official thing with My Little Pony thanks to Equestria Girls, because it was 2013 and everyone wanted to create their own fashion doll toy line to compete with Monster High. And you can clearly tell this with two things: the characters being portrayed as high school students and having their pony counterparts color skins. For the most part, they look pretty accurate, but when some characters being infamously accused of being whitewashed, such as when Luna. But then you had Celestia, who in this universe is a principal. Celestia received 2 dolls, one that came packaged with a pony version of herself, and another one that was exclusive at Walmart further through the Mirror line. And both of the dolls had the correct white skin. But if you look at how Principal Celestia look in the Equestria Girls movies, you might notice that she's not technically white, but instead a pastel shade of pink, especially if you compare it to her alicorn counterpart. But yeah, both of her Equestria Girls fashion dolls don't necessarily look exactly like what she does in the cartoon. Not even her mini doll that was released for the Equestria Girls minis line, even though it does have the correct outfit. But here's an interesting thing that no one has ever noticed. If you look closely at her club card, which was this little card that made out of cardboard that the earlier Equestria dolls came with, You may notice something interesting about her. Celestia has pink skin. So it makes me wondering if they went on a full-on complete opposite, and there is the possibility of a prototype Equestria Girl Celestia doll that depicts her with pink skin but was ultimately changed to the white color for the final product because Hasbro said, you know what, screw pink Celestia forever, we're having Celestia the much more accurate white color. One thing, however, that was kept for both of Celestia's dolls is that they both came with a pair of pink wings, and honestly, I gotta say that for the True Mirror Celestia doll, these wings are absolutely amazing. So that was the history of Celestia's inconsistent color during early G4 MLP merchandise. And sure, other characters did have some oddities when it comes to skin colors, like how some of Luna's toys depicted her with an appearance similar to her Season 1 design, while others depicted her with her Season 2 redesign. But why does Celestia take the cake for this? Simple. The box art clearly shows how Celestia actually looks like in the show, but it's very distracting to see how the toy doesn't actually resemble her, and her skin was only changed in the earlier toys just to appear to girls a lot better. But let's be honest, I'm pretty sure that even a little girl would probably prefer to have Celestia look a lot more accurate. Thankfully, all that changed in the year 2012. After the introduction of Princess Cadance, Hasbro managed to make Celestia look white like she does in the show, while the kids now had their own separate pink alicorn character for the toys. You know, I deeply apologize if this video comes across as a bit racist for I constantly brought up skin colors, as this video was only meant to talk about inconsistencies between how a character looks in the show versus how they look on the toys. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and thank you so much for watching. I just hope everyone has a happy 2026. Make sure that all your wishes and happiness come true. See you guys next time. Goodbye!